start the white paper. I don't know if I started the cheat sheet because I didn't want to start it.
Welcome to D2 Bites, a show where a guest and I serve up quick conversations over snacks. My guest today is social media maven Vijaya Singh.
Hi.
Thanks for joining me.
Happy to be here.
Vijaya, you just came out with a new social media content cheat sheet. Can you tell us about that?
A lot of the times when we're talking to clients, they are budget conscious, which is understandable. And so because they're budget conscious, they're thinking, oh, we have this great video. Can we just put it across everything that we own? Let's put it on our website. Let's put it on LinkedIn. Let's throw it on Instagram, that kind of thing. It's our job to guide them and to let them know that while we want to repurpose content because we also want to be mindful of their budgets, we have to think through the purpose of the content, the purpose of their audience, and the purpose of the platforms that they're on. So the cheat sheet really is meant to be a little bit of a guidance to clients as they're like thinking through what content pieces they have that are coming from sources that aren't us, and how they may want to parse it out across their channels and how we can help guide them. For instance, the cheat sheet has X, Instagram is for X, and here's how we do it. So if there's a piece of content that's like a video that's 10 minutes long, right? We know that that's not going to be great for Instagram because one, Instagram's not going to let you like just put up all the videos that you want that are 10 minutes long. So we talk them through and we're like, great, this is great for YouTube, but let's talk about how we can use this video and edit it down for Instagram. If Instagram's upsizing, let's talk about if the content of the video is meant for your audience on Instagram. Because sometimes your audience on YouTube versus like your audience on Instagram can be completely different. So you have to think about voice, you have to think about specs, you have to think about the platform itself. So a lot of different ideas went into creating the content cheat sheet.
Where do you see the most opportunity with social media now and with brands?
I think it definitely depends on who you are. So let's talk about the med tech space that we're in. And I think a lot of the times when we're thinking through med tech, we're thinking B2B. And when we're thinking B2B, the place to be is LinkedIn. And I know a lot of the times our clients are like, yes, we're on LinkedIn, we have a page, great. But it's about what you're doing with that page. It's not just about, we have this page, we threw a couple of pictures up on there that we were at a conference and it's like, hey, we were at this conference, like our stuff. I think that's a lot of what people are doing with LinkedIn when they're like, we want to talk to other people that are just like us, or we want to talk to our target audience and we know they're on LinkedIn. And we feel that if we just like post our press release, if we just post that we're at a conference, that'll be enough. You have to think about what works on LinkedIn and then like what will work for your target audience. And maybe your target audience cares that you went to a conference, but they care more about what's in your pipeline, what's coming up as far as like the service that you're offering or the product that you're making. And also thinking through like word of mouth isn't necessarily a thing on LinkedIn. Everything across each channel is pay to play, especially on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn can be a little bit more expensive. So thinking through exactly who your audience is and working through like ad content and like thought leadership content. So just being smart about the content you're posting on a channel and not just saying, well, I'm on the channel, my audience is here, why aren't they coming to me?
Yeah, right. There's been a big tone shift in social media in the last 5 years, with a lot of brands just becoming a little bit more casual. Do you see a space for that in healthcare and in med tech of showing more personality and appealing more to younger people?
I think if healthcare, pharma, med tech wants to start appealing to millennials, let's say millennials, because previously a lot of the products we work with can be from like boomer to maybe Gen X a little. So if we're trying to appeal to millennial and Gen Zs and even maybe Gen Alpha, then I think there is like room to grow. And I think healthcare, pharma, medtech, it's always like a little bit behind everyone else and you have to catch up, especially since like millennials, for instance, who have been on social media their whole lives. So authenticity is key because we can tell if there's a trend that is really popular with people, but you know for a fact that this isn't something authentically like your brand would participate in, don't try to make it happen.
Don't force it.
Don't force it, exactly. Like Megan Thee Stallion has a song out right now with a Japanese artist, and there's a dance that goes with it. Duolingo can do that dance because Duolingo's brand is they're going to do every trend possible because Duolingo behaves like a person, not necessarily a brand. The Pfizers of the world cannot go to their CEO and say, hey, can you do this Megan Thee Stallion dance? And like, because everyone's going to be like, what is this and why are you doing it? So that's kind of what I mean.
Yeah. And you're very active on social media, and you have a big LinkedIn following, and you are very in tune with what's going on and on the different platforms. I'm wondering if there is anything contemporary that's happening right now across any platform that's maybe gotten your attention, and what has been causing you to be drawn to that?
I think one of the things that I'm seeing happening across just like social media in general, not necessarily on any platform, is pulling things from a platform into the real world. And it's not just like, for instance, with the Megan Thee Stallion dance, something starting on TikTok and like moving into her concert, but like thoughts and ideas that are coming from spaces like LinkedIn, where it's like the thought leadership pieces that are happening around like DEI and how like that space has been like shrinking, but also how it needs to not be shrinking. And then those conversations moving into like panel discussions and so on, and moving not just like from LinkedIn, but like having articles written about it, and then moving into Instagram where more people are talking about it. So I think what I am seeing, I don't know if necessarily is a trend, but I'm seeing more and more people being willing to not just say LinkedIn is a professional space and I will only talk about one thing here, but like changing how they talk about a topic across the spaces to match it. So kind of like repurposing their own content, but making sure that they're not just like taking their LinkedIn article and putting it on Instagram and expecting it to work, but they're like taking those thoughts and they're having conversations about it on like Instagram, for instance, because they know like sometimes we don't always leave our work at work, and sometimes it affects our real life. Yeah. On average, we have 7 social media platforms that we're all active on. So I like seeing that like things are moving across the spaces, but they're moving across the spaces more authentically and to match like each person's like audience on their platforms.
Yeah, that makes sense, because if you make one thing and you try to make one thing for everyone, you're making it for no one.
Nothing. Yes, exactly.
Where can we get the social media cheat sheet?
So the social media cheat sheet is on D2's website. And also you can find it on our LinkedIn page where we've started on our featured posts.
Well, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
This has been